Hello, this is a tutorial on how to install my spring joints onto your avatar. First of all, what you want to do is locate the folder. I have mine under effects and under spring joint. I'm going to drag the prefab into the scene right here, and I'm going to drag it into the position I want it to be. If you click this compass up here and square it out, it makes it easier to align where you want it to be. For me, I want it to be aligned on the right hand. So I'm going to put it right here. That looks about right. And it looks like it's a little bit further back, so I'm going to align it with my middle finger. And that looks right to me. I can go into play mode to test it. Just click that square to go out of the 2D. Hit play mode. And I like the positioning of it. It looks like I'm holding on to it. If you cannot see this, don't worry. Just click on this picture right here and make sure particle systems is checked. Pretty easy fix for that. Okay, from here, what we're going to do is we're going to drag the prefab into our avatar on the name. Right click on the prefab and unpack it. I would do the same for your avatar if it's not already. From here, what we're going to do is, since this is attached to the right hand, I'm going to open up my spine, open up my chest, right shoulder, right elbow, open up the right wrist, and I'm going to attach a rigid body onto my right wrist. If you want it to be on your finger, then I would align it by your finger and then just copy the same steps. So we're going to add a rigid body here. I'm going to go ahead and delete this and create a new rigid body right on the wrist. This should be set to 1, 0, 0, uncheck. This will most likely be like this, closed. Open it up and check all of these. Once you have all that, click back onto your spring joint and then drag the bone with the rigid body on it. For me, it's the right wrist. Click and drag all the way over here to the connected body slot. Cool. So now that it's set, we can go into play mode and test to see if it's working, if it's aligned with my wrist. So I click on the shoulder in the armature, and it's working. Let's check this angle, and boom, works. Throw it all the way over here. It's working perfect. Cool. Okay, get out of play mode, and then what we need to do now is create the animations. So I'm duplicating my avatar, turning my original one off, and what we need to do now is create animations for it. If you do not have an animation tab, the way that you bring one up is you click on window up here, down to animation, and click animation. That's going to open up this new window, and I like to drag it in right here, right next to the projecting console and profiler. Anyway, we click on our duplicated avatar. Make sure you're working on the duplicated one, not the original. Create a clip. Okay, we're going to name this one Spring Joint On. Okay, and now we need to make a couple of keyframes to turn this on. So hit the record button, open up my spring joint. Mine always say toggle on there, and that's what we're going to be turning on. In this case, we're making the on animation. So I'm going to click this once. It's unchecked. Click it one more time, and it's going to be checked. Turning off the recording now. I now click on the diamond right here. Click up here in the timeline, click and drag, bring it over one slot, and Control V. So if you didn't get that, click on the diamond. Make sure this white line is hovering over it by clicking and dragging over to that slot. Control C, drag it over, and Control V, and it pastes over. Now we need to make an off clip. So click on this right here, the spring joint on, create new clip, spring joint off. Bam. Same thing that we did with on, but this time we're turning it off. So we hit the record button, and we're just going to turn this off now. Off. Go over one slot. Well, unrecord. Drag the timeline over the diamonds. Control C. Bring it over. Control V. Boom. Now we have our off animations. Yep. Okay, cool. Sweet. Here they are right here. Now what we need to do is make a parameter for these. So I'm going to turn this off just in case I need to make more animations later. Click on your avatar, turning it back on. And inside of your descriptor, if you go down to the expressions menu, your parameter should be right here. If it's not connected right there, you can search up expressions right here. So I have express, and what you would do is click on this. I like to click the X after that. I would duplicate it and type. You can rename it, your avatar parameter. I'm just gonna put avatar para, and then you would drag this into the parameter slot. If you don't already have one there, if you have one here, perfect. What we're gonna do is click on the new parameter that we made. I'm gonna rename this right here. Well, it's nothing right now, but I'm gonna name it spring joint. I'm gonna change this from integer to bool. Bool is a more optimized way to create toggles. You want to have default unchecked, and you want saved to be checked. Cool. So now we need to go into the FX layer. If you have an FX layer, it's going to be just by clicking this inside of your playable layers option. If you don't have one, what you would do is it's going to look like this white box. Just click on it and then come down to your project settings, right click, hit create animation controller. We can rename this FX layer, and then what you would do is drag it into this slot right here. But we already have one, so we're going to be using this. So click on the avatar, hit animator. It's not popping up, and that's because I need to open the FX layer assigned to it. So click on our FX layer. What we need to do is add a parameter. I'm going to click this plus sign up here, name it bool, and we're going to label the spring joint. It's very important that the name stays the same as what you did in parameter. So let me just double check, make sure I named it the same parameter. Click this. I'm just going to copy paste this right here and then bring it over here and just paste it just in case, because everything has to be the exact same. Okay, I'm now going to click on layers, hit the plus sign, and hit Control V to make sure the name's the same. I'm now going to click on this cogwheel. It's going to bring this little side menu up. Drag this all the way to the right. That's set to 1. Now we need to find our animations that we just made. So spring joint. Cool, found it right here. I like to click the X after search, and these two are right next to each other. We want to drag the off in here first. So off is in here, and now on is in here. And from here we make a transition. So right click on any state. Click onto your spring joint off. You now click on the transition option right here. Uncheck this, set this to 0. And then from here, conditions, we go to spring joint. We want this to be false. Alright. And then from here, we make a right click on any state again, drag it onto here, onto the on animation, turn this off, set this to 0, conditions, hit the plus sign down here, spring joint, true. Alright. From here, all we have to do is create a menu. Put this inside our menu. So I'm clicking back onto our avatar. Coming down, we have our menu that came with this avatar. If you don't have a menu at all, what you would do is search for menu. Default expressions menu should pop up. What I would do is just make a duplicate of this. I can do that by right clicking. I can do this by clicking on it and pressing Control D. And I'll just name this main menu if you don't have one already. Click back onto your avatar, scroll down to expressions, and you would drag this on into this slot right here. But I already have one, so I'm going to be using this. I'm going to add a control. Just copy paste the name, Spring Joint. Icon, if you have an icon, you can put it in there. I'm going to click on button type. I want it to be a toggle, off and on. That way I can turn it on and off. I'm going to go to parameter and go down to Spring Joint Bool. And that's that. It's ready to go now. Yeah, that's how you do make a make the toggle for the Spring Joint. Thanks for watching, and see you later. Bye bye.